where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life.
The clock is ticking for Sean Diddy Combs, and things are quickly spiraling out of control. Just when you thought the scandal couldn't get any messier, it turns out Diddy's defense team is scrambling to meet a looming court deadline to explain how he's been communicating from behind bars. Yes, you read that correctly. This story has gone from shocking to downright jaw-dropping. But that's not all. A former associate has testified before a federal grand jury, claiming to have explosive evidence from Diddy's infamous private gatherings. If you think the details we're about to reveal are outrageous, buckle up, because this is only the beginning.
Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do...
First things first, let's dive into the latest bombshell that's got everyone talking. Picture this: Diddy's own legal powerhouse, the attorney who's been by his side for months, has reportedly thrown in the towel. That's right, his top-tier lawyer has allegedly walked away from the case mid-trial. Can you imagine the level of chaos unfolding behind the scenes? This isn't some rookie attorney. This is a seasoned professional with decades of experience, and even he seems to have had enough. Rumor has it the lawyer lost faith in both the case and Diddy himself. If your own defense team is jumping ship, what does that say about the strength of your case?
What his team is trying to do is get the public to assume that the government is leaking some of this negative information about him, like that Cassie video. But the reality is, he's got a lot of enemies, and I really don't believe it's that.
While Diddy's legal team continues to crumble, the hits just keep on coming. A leaked prison call recording has set the internet on fire, and it's making Diddy look even worse. In the recording, a voice, allegedly Diddy's, is heard instructing one of his sons to get rid of all the pizza boxes. Now let's pause and think. What could that possibly mean? Is it some sort of code? Was he trying to hide evidence? The recording has sparked wild speculation and, frankly, raises more questions than it answers. One thing is certain: whatever Diddy was trying to do, it's backfired spectacularly. Instead of quieting the noise, this leak has only added fuel to the fire, and now more evidence is flooding in from all directions, painting an even darker picture of the man once seen as a music icon. Speaking of evidence, let's break down what prosecutors have revealed so far. During a search of Diddy's home, they reportedly uncovered items that are almost too outrageous to believe. We're talking about firearms with scratched-off serial numbers, a huge stockpile of personal products, and get this, recordings of his private events. These recordings allegedly show multiple individuals in highly crucial to proving the case against him. Oh, and don't forget the sheer volume of items seized. Over 1,000 bottles of products typically used for, let's say, very specific activities. Just think about that number for a moment. Who even needs that many bottles of anything? It's details like these that make the allegations against Diddy impossible to ignore.
Today, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll stop.
But here's where things take an even crazier turn. While Diddy's legal troubles continue to mount, the prosecution appears more confident than ever. In fact, the accuser's lawyer has boldly stated that Diddy's chances of avoiding a life sentence are slim to none. And honestly, given the avalanche of evidence piling up, it's hard to disagree. The lawyer's confidence is rooted in what they're calling an unprecedented amount of corroboration, from witnesses to recordings to the seized items. They've even gone as far as to claim that Diddy's wealth and influence won't be enough to save him this time. It's a bold statement, but with everything we've seen so far, it might not be far from the truth.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Let's circle back to the leaked prison call for a moment. because it's too explosive to overlook. The recording allegedly captures Diddy advising his son to get rid of evidence, and while the exact meaning of pizza boxes remains unclear, many are speculating it's code for something incriminating. Was he referring to physical evidence that could link him to the allegations, or is it a metaphor for something much bigger? The fact that this call was leaked at all suggests Diddy's every move is being closely monitored, and it's certainly not working in his favor. The leak has sparked a frenzy online, with fans, critics, and legal experts all weighing in on what it could mean. Some are calling it the smoking gun that could seal his fate, while others think it's just another piece of a very messy puzzle. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. The leaked call, along with the mounting evidence, has opened the floodgates, and now more people are stepping forward with their own stories. Witnesses who were once silent are now coming into the spotlight, revealing details that only add to the growing case against him. And let's not forget the digital evidence already in play. One former associate testified before a grand jury, claiming to possess flash drives filled with recordings from Diddy's private gatherings. These recordings allegedly featured high-profile individuals and could expose an entire network of questionable activities. If this evidence is as damning as it sounds, it could be the final nail in the coffin for Diddy's defense.
Not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come.
Speaking of his defense, let's talk about the man who walked away, Mark Agnifilo. Diddy's now former lawyer is no lightweight. With over 30 years of experience and a resume that includes defending some of the biggest names in both corporate and criminal law, Agnifilo is the type of attorney you want in your corner when the stakes are this high. So why would someone of his caliber abandon ship? Sources close to the case suggest that Agnifilo saw the writing on the wall. Between the overwhelming evidence, the leaked recordings, and the damning testimony, it seems even he couldn't see a way forward. And honestly, can you blame him? When your client is facing such serious accusations and the evidence keeps piling up, there's only so much even the best lawyer can do.
You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
But here's where things get really interesting. Agnifilo's departure has left Diddy scrambling to find new legal representation, and insiders say it's not going well. With his reputation in ruins and the case against him getting stronger by the day, it's becoming harder for Diddy to find a lawyer willing to take on the case. Without a strong legal team, his chances of mounting a successful defense are shrinking by the minute. It's a dire situation, and it seems to only get worse with each passing day.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
So where does all of this leave Diddy? At this point, it's hard to see how he comes back from this. The evidence is overwhelming, witnesses are speaking out, and even his own legal team seems to be abandoning him. Let's not forget the public perception. Once hailed as a music pioneer and cultural icon, Diddy's reputation has taken a massive hit. Fans who once idolized him are now questioning everything they thought they knew, and the court of public opinion is turning against him in a big way. It's a dramatic fall from grace, and it seems far from over. And we're not even halfway through yet. This is just the beginning of what promises to be one of the most explosive legal battles in recent history. With new evidence surfacing almost daily and more witnesses coming forward, the case against Diddy is shaping up to be a spectacle like nothing we've seen before. If you think this is intense, just wait until we dive into the next chapter of this story. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned. Things are about to get even crazier.